dialogue. We gon' tell the truth, we ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are, do we bow? No, not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall underground. Underground dialogue. We gon' tell the truth, we ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are, do we bow? No, not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall. From the industry to the Oval Office, we expose the darkest motives of them all and disclose what the protocol is. Thinking and moving logical, stopping every maneuver possible, and apologizing for truth is not optional. We gon' help you with what you go through, reshape and mold you, and sweep over them weak lies they told you. If you living with no clue, we gon' deprogram the old you, and you get to
what
keep
up, man?
your soul
It's your
too.
big brother K Reno.
It's your boy Key Stove.
Y'all are tuned in again to another episode of the Underground Dialogue Podcast, where the name speaks for itself. And tonight, I want to say this, man. You know, certain times there are names that, in my opinion, don't get mentioned enough when you talk about rappers in the city of Houston, and particularly for me when you talk about lyricists in the city of Houston. And I feel like tonight we are sitting with one of the best craftsmanship lyricists, one of the best technicians when it comes to that pen game, man. This guy's been doing it for many years. He's worked with some of the best, and in my opinion, when you work with some of the best and you ain't got to pay them to do it, that means they respect you as being one of the best as well. So we happy tonight to have our brother, one of the Southwest Side's finest, Mr. G.T. Garza. What's up, my brother?
What's okay? I appreciate that for real.
Come on, man. Come on, man. We give what's deserved, brother.
I appreciate that.
Now we glad to have you here, man. And I'm happy because really, we've come across each other a couple of times, but this would be our first time actually to get down and sit down and just have a conversation, man. So I'm glad for that, man. Man, tell us how you started. You know, what was your origins in the game, and what got you addicted to this thing that we love and hate sometimes?
I just watching a lot. I used to watch a lot of my homeboys growing. So I grew up on this side of town, kind of like on Fondren and West Airport, right there by. I went to Welsh Middle School. So for me, I just used to watch my homeboys on the back of the school bus, you know, just rhyming, just like we all used to do, probably growing up, you know what I mean? And then the first time and rap was like not new to me. I knew hip hop, like I knew DJ Screw, like Fat Pat, Kiki. Slowly I was getting into like Bone Thugs and different things, but it was really, I was just listening to it. I never involved myself in the music. So I didn't really see rap firsthand, like face to face, until I seen it on the back of the school bus. So for me, that was like my first introduction into, oh, this is real. This is something that I can do or I can be a part of. So when I got to high school, my freshman year, I seen one of my friends battle rap in the kitchen, and the recognition that he got from that made me feel like that's something that I want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was just like one of those things, like I tried basketball, tried football, tried like every sport that I could.
Bodybuilder.
Not even close.
Hey, man, leave the skinny dudes alone, man.
No, I'm definitely, I've been skinny my whole life.
Me too, man. Don't pay no attention to him, man.
No. And so for me, it was just the only thing I was good at. You know what I mean? So I couldn't really figure out what really drew me to it, because I didn't really spend enough time where I was like good at it. So, but I knew it just caught my eye. And so slowly every day after school, when I get off the bus, I would just like freestyle to myself. And this was like probably, man, I was a freshman in like 2000, in the year 2000.
Yeah.
So this was just me getting off the bus. And so that gradually started into like, well, what can I go like do this at? What places can I go like, you know, freestyle at? So there was a battle here in Houston, probably like 2001, called like Import Export or something like that. And I ended up getting into that battle. And that battle just, my friends pushed me into that battle, and I ended up winning. And I won like a pair of rims to like 20-inch rims for a car, but I didn't have a car, so I ended up selling them. And that got me my first $1,000. And so with that money, I was able to buy my school clothes and like do things to where I could help my mom out. So for that, that became more of my reason to rap.
Yeah.
Of like, okay, it's cool, but now I could do things with the money that I'm winning to help my mom, but also like achieve things that I want to do.
Man, that's cold-blooded. Go ahead, Kiso.
What did that mama think about the rap?
Well, she really didn't come around for years later. Years. Her and my dad really kind of, they wasn't really tripping about it. It wasn't like, you shouldn't be doing this. They really probably just thought it was a phase. You know what I mean? Like, just like anything else, you'll get over it.
Mm.
But I just never got over it. Like, I just kept hungering for different things that I wanted to try. And then after a while, I think battle rap just became like, my bad, I probably moved too fast. I probably entered like a gang of more battles after that. You know what I mean? Because it just gave me the motivation. So I used to go to this place on the southeast, right off of like 45 and Telephone. And it was a place called the YA. And the YA is a youth advocate program where it's, I want to say it's funded by the city. And so it's a place where you can go for every Thursday after school. They'll let kids, man, it was a warehouse where you could literally like skateboard, you could break dance, they had open mic, they would sell pizza there. And it was all kids from the urban community on every side that would just go to this place on Thursday and just really just for us, it was like almost like therapy. You know what I mean? Like as a kid, it was like a place to do something.
Yeah.
So a place to stay out of trouble, basically.
Cool.
So I used to go there, and the DJ there, his name was Joe B from the Rebel Crew, I believe. And he was the DJ there. And for him, he was like rapping, he would MC and stuff, but he would open the mic up. And so I would go every Thursday, but I didn't really rap at first. And so I decided to go up there and rap. And then that became my every Thursday, like, I'm finna just go up here and just get better at what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. You know what? I was thinking, so hypothetically, what would have been your approach had you entered that first battle and you didn't win? Do you think you'd have still been as motivated, or did the winning make you say, man, like a drug?
I probably wouldn't have been as motivated. I probably would have been embarrassed that I lost. And it probably would have, I never really even thought about it from that perspective. It probably would have pushed me back into like sports or something, like thinking like, yo, I probably ain't good enough to do that.
Man, so was it like set up like with different rounds? And
yeah, it
like
was
that?
Basically like a different round thing. You know, they put the beat on.
Yeah.
You know, you freestyle for your 30 seconds. He freestyle for his 30 seconds.
Eliminating guys along the way.
Yeah.
Okay, because just say, first of all, we glad you won. Yeah. But just say if you wouldn't have won the ultimate, the victory, but you'd have went way, way up, maybe 1 or 2 rounds before the winning, you still think you'd have just felt like...
You know what? Yeah. In my mind, I only remember winning. So even if I did battle the first 2 or 3, my brain didn't even calculate. I don't even know how many rounds I went before that. So if I didn't win, I probably wouldn't even like known how many rounds. I would appreciate it. Like, oh, I actually won 2 rounds.
Yeah. See, because winning early, I remember Michael Jordan was talking about when he hit that game-winning shot in college in North Carolina. He talked what that did for his confidence. Like, that just made me feel like I could do anything. So winning early does factor in when you trying to go on your road.
I did lose a few times.
Yeah.
There's a time that I battled in Sharpstown Mall in the parking lot for a Foot Action Adidas battle. And in the parking lot, it was one of the biggest crowds I ever battled in front of. But I ended up winning that competition and flying to New York to battle at the Apollo Theater. And I took my sister out there. We went to Harlem. I battled. I got 2nd place. And when I lost, it was my 10th grade year. I flew back to Houston. I remember like missing my first day of school and just coming back to school the next day like, damn, I blew it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm back in school. Nobody knows what I did this summer. But I know like I went for this big ass battle and I lost.
Man, but you win. Yeah, you win. Yeah, see,
I feel you.
Yeah. But see, I look at that from 2 angles because I commend you for being like, I want to win. I ain't just coming out here just to be glad to be here.
Yeah.
But also a 10th grade student going to the Apollo and coming in 2nd, especially in a market where they are not always historically accepting of people outside of that region.
Yeah, and what's crazy is I never even like I guess because me being from my neighborhood, being like I'm one of the only few Mexicans in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I never even perceived it or looked at it like that.
Yeah.
I just feel comfortable and I just go. So I'm rapping and rhyming. I just felt at that time I was just a little short.
Yeah.
It just didn't connect as it should.
Now, moving further on, because when I hear you now, like I said in the intro, bro, you know, you a lyrical technician. You're a scientist. You're one of the ones that I feel like spend a lot of times on your craft and putting the words together and all that. So when did that journey start to trying to figure out and decipher what kind of rapper I'm gonna be?
It really became after the battles. After I kind of felt like, okay, I made my little 500 here, my little 1,000 here. Like, what else can I do? I started to freestyle on rap beats.
Yeah.
And then it became more of like, I want to develop my style and I want to like actually try to say something cool or like present myself in a cool manner so it sound tight, but it look tight. And so I started to study different rhymers. Like I think, so at first I was jamming like Kiki, you know, Paul and Slim and all them had came out. And then slowly but surely, like after the Bone Thug situation, man, one of my favorite rappers was the Brat.
Yeah. We said that. Yeah, man, listen, I got a Brad CD.
Yeah.
I had the Funktified
Me
tape.
too.
Right. Me too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was just different for me, especially like I just never heard music like in that manner, especially from a female.
Yeah.
So that led me like further up east to where I started jamming like Mos Def,
Okay.
Talib Kweli, the Black Star Movement, the Ruckus Records tapes, R.A. the Rugged Man. Like one of my homeboys named V Zilla, he introduced me into the Jedi Mind Tricks and that style of music. So it became more of like I just kept digging deeper and deeper and deeper until I was like, okay, this is the style that I like. And it wasn't really like, I didn't really even know that style even existed.
Yeah.
It just became something that I just became like hungry to just learn that style.
Yeah. You know.
So I kind of took pieces, I guess, from every artist that I would jam over time and just put it into like my own little like formula. You know what I mean?
Man, one of the coolest things in the world is when you're young and you just starting to rap and you get exposed to people that are levels above
Bro,
you.
it is the
And you like,
craziest
man, I ain't know people could do that. And now it's like, oh, I'm getting ready to do it too.
The beat selection. I mean, just everything was just new to me.
Yeah.
And it made me just want to dig further and further and further into it.
Right. What effect in terms of contributing to your style did the battling and the freestyle have? Because, you know, as a battle rapper myself coming up, but not in competition, with no competitions back then, it was just street corner, schoolhouse. But what it did, it sharpened me.
Yes.
It made me like, and what I ended up doing, I carried that battle aggression over into when I started recording. So, and I can hear that. That's where I'm going. I can hear that with you. It's like you have an aggression that comes out in your lyricism, but it's still polished at the same time.
It's a real attackish like style.
Yeah.
Like it's a real like, sometimes it will seem aggressive. So even like when we were talking in the elevator, like the CD I'm working on now, like I'm consciously cutting back to try to give a cool vibe album because I know naturally, like I want to just like attack the beat.
Yeah.
Like I'm super punchlining and I can't help it. It's just like, that's just like,
it's in you.
It's a battle rapper.
it's just naturally.
Yeah.
So I naturally talk shit, but I have to try to cater to my audience and myself also. Like over the years, I had to learn to like nourish that and balance that. So it's just not like a one-sided tape of me just talking shit all the time.
Yeah, I got you. Right. Was it difficult? Because one thing I've noticed about battle rappers, a lot of times they good in the battle rapping ring.
They songs trash.
Yeah, exactly. When it comes to making songs, it's like, okay, yeah.
You because we always think of the verse first.
Yeah.
And to be honest, records think of the beat and the hook first.
Yeah.
So that's half the battle. If you can win the hook and the beat, all you gotta do is fill in your little two verses. And the thing is, we're rappers, so we can fill in any two verses, like no matter what beat it is.
Yeah.
But as soon as we hear the beat, we just want to go.
Yeah, I hear that.
And so that's just our problem. Like we just need to be like, hold up, let's get a dope hook. Let's get a female singer on this. Let's get an idea, some kind of topic going. Like let's make the record.
Make it make
So
sense.
that's what became with me now. Like, how do I make the record? So even when I do features now, like back then when I did the feature, like I would probably just want to attack it.
Just kill everything.
I don't care what the topic is. Like,
Yeah.
like, and sometimes that would bite me in the end because it would be like a girl song or something. Like, you rapping way too hard.
Baby girl, I'll get you into the
Yeah, so it would just be too much.
Yeah.
So I had to like learn to like, man, you got to make the record. You know what I mean? So I listened to the whole song 100 times before I try to like write to it.
You know what I think that comes from though? I think that comes from, like you said, you jumped off the porch and straight into the war zone battling. So as a rapper, as a lyricist, what happens is we become addicted early to them. Ooh, and oh, when you hit them punchlines in the crowd. So you want to get that every time, but it's certain, just like you said, it's certain records, it don't call for that.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't, okay, we talking about just chilling and riding through the hood on a Sunday. I can't just be snapping on nobody like
and
that.
now my ooh moment becomes that record instead of just a line. Or the cool, when I get to this 4 or this 8, they gonna love this bar or this bar. It's like, nah, let me get them to love from minute 1 to 3.
One thing I noticed when I was going through you and watching your videos and music, I love the fact how you share your songs with people. Like, it was a couple of them I started watching their come watching you. It's one dude I had, I think it was called Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that dude, man, to come out there singing that hard like that.
Bro, yeah, my homie Coast, man, he's real tight. We, my go ahead.
I'm gonna say the packaging. I said, nah, and then he just started singing. I said,
I like doing music with people that, you know, motivate and make me want to like, you know, sharpen my sword more.
Right,
you know what I mean? So I always try to like circulate myself with people that's like super dope, or if not better than me, to try to like make myself better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always try to like, you know, find new people or just even my partners, whatever we could work on. Like, we're going to try to out-rap ourselves every time.
What year did you drop your first, was it a mixtape, was it an album? The first thing that you ever...
I'll probably like 2002 maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe like some high school tapes or something like that. I used to freestyle a lot over different like mixtape beats and stuff like that. Try to like, you know, they used to have like Kazaa and like Napster and stuff like that.
Oh,
so I used to like...
Napster.
I used to download the beats, rap to them, and then slang them out through my neighborhood or just wherever I could.
Beginning of the ending.
Yeah, that was it. and that's it. Like, got into that era, like the CD era, and then I was just pumping mixtapes, a bunch of freestyles and whatever I could touch.
What was the response once you got to the actual physical, where you spreading your stuff out, however you was doing it, to the people? What was the returns?
You know
on
what's
that?
crazy, man? 97.9 for some reason just got like real cool with me early on.
You talking about the Chopaholics days?
The Chopaholics was actually second.
Okay.
So me and Mad Hatter became really cool early on because I used to go to a lot of their competitions.
Gotcha.
See, 97.9 back in the day, they used to have a lot of rap battles.
Yeah,
like a lot of motherfucking rap battles. And then I also like I used to, when I was doing all these battles, like Sunkiss, DeSoto, they would come down and throw battles. And so I went to those battles. I won that both years. They threw one in Galveston here and then one somewhere like downtown at a warehouse. And a lot of like MCs that are known around here today, like I battled them, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of them I beat. I probably didn't lose to many. I don't even really think I lost to anybody here in the city that I battled.
Right.
But I know I lost outside the city, trying to compete, you know, just trying to get a name. But like 97.9 was one of the first people to hear me and then kind of take me in and be like, yo, there's going to be a battle here, da-da-da. So they would always like keep me informed.
So when they took you, you said when they took you, what exactly did they have you doing? What was like the role?
Nothing. Like, it was basically like they would call my phone and be like, yo, we finna throw a battle.
Spit something, go pull up,
like,
okay.
Hey, we finna have a freestyle, open mic, da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then like one of these battles, the Sunkiss battle was the reason I ended up with the Chopaholics. Because the Chopaholics just so happened to be performing at this competition. And it was in Galveston. So I ended up meeting the Chopaholics, and then from there, DJ Kool-Aid and DJ Overdose were like, yo, come out here and just, you know, every Friday, or it was every Sunday or Friday, I forgot what day it was, they did their show. Yeah. And they're like, come up to the radio station, come freestyle, and we're going to slowly and just involve you with these Chopaholic tapes and stuff like that.
That's dope.
So yeah, it became, that was tight. That was a cool time too.
So when you started to feel your name kind of growing in the city? Because battle rapping always usually starts off as just kind of this underground type of circuit, and then all of a sudden now up to the surface with the radio and all that. What was it like when you people started to know you? And
it was real cool. It was probably the coolest feeling I had, because for me, I was able to like sneak in. Like for me, I was like sneaking in club. Yeah. You know, I was hanging with the DJ and stuff like that. Like I remember carrying crates for the DJ. You know what I'm saying, for DJ Kool-Aid, because he was sneaking me into like Coco Loco and stuff like that.
Coco Loco.
Yeah, like I was there just chilling, you know what I mean? But I was super young, but I was just trying to be in the mix, because at the time I felt like, all right, well, this is what I have to do to try to get my name out. Like if I'm trying to get to another level of rhyming, I got to be at these, bro, in this place, these are grown people, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know how old I was, but I just knew like I wasn't mature enough to be in these spaces. But
I ain't gonna turn it down.
But I'm trying to go off in these spaces. Like I'm trying to like win some money, or I'm trying to do something. So that's all I knew at that time. It's like I need to figure out a way to get on.
Yeah. I remember hearing your name, not hearing your music. I used to think GT Garza was like a radio DJ.
Yeah. So me and
I did too, man.
No,
when I first started hearing your name, I thought you was one of the people that worked on the radio.
So me and GT, man, used to always get like people used to always confuse us. Yeah. So DJ Kool-Aid was the person from the Chopaholics that was like, hey, if you want to, you know, change it up so you don't get confused with him, you should add Garza to the end, because that's your last name. Gotcha. And so I was like, okay. And I didn't think about it like a major deal at the time, but it was probably one of the best choices.
So you was just GT at first. Gotcha. Okay.
You know what I mean? And at the time, I don't know if GT Main was like super battle rapping or whatever. I just know that we had the same name and we're mixing with the same like people. He worked for the station. I didn't. I was just a kid trying to rhyme.
Well, I'm gonna let you in on, you know, because I've been knowing GT forever. He was just GT at one point. You know what I'm saying?
And then
he would do like the GT man. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how that stuck like that, you know. But GT was a dope rapper, you know, without a doubt. He been around from back in the day, straight up.
So I guess people just got us confused because we just was both rhyming. Right. You know what I mean? Right. And so after a while, I just picked up Garza at the end, and that's how I was like able to tell people, well, now I'm Garza. So had to. I mean, shit. Till this day, people probably still get us mixed up. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about now, man, because like I say, your name is out there, and like I say, even before I think we met, quite a couple of years back. We met at this event. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just handful, but not enough to we never just talked and chopped it up. Sure. But I knew what you was at that time. You know, it wasn't no confusion on my end. I was like, this dude name is circulating, and he has a base. He have people that's rocking with him and things of that nature. Right. So the record, what was a record that you released that you felt like, okay, this is a record that kind of got me some momentum?
Well, so after the Chopaholics thing, I think I ended up like talking to like some of the DJs and be like, you know, what is the next step if I'm trying to get on? And they were telling me like remixes back in the day. Yeah. So I used to do a lot of remixes. So when a record would come down to Texas, or when a label would come down to Houston, they would try to break their records into a new market. And so me being an up-and-coming artist here, the station would call and be like, yo, put a verse to this, and we'll be able to run it. Like, we'll be able to play it on the station, but you'll get some light too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because you're on it, and people, you got a little buzz right now. So I was able to jump on a couple remixes for the radio to help. Wasn't really helping the label. It was really more so helping the station to run a record. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, at the time. And that helped me get a little bit more buzz.
Yeah, and because I remember artists would do that. They'll put a verse on a popular song, lead a hook on that, lead original hook on that, and the thing. Oh, they still doing that? Yeah. And I'm out the loop. But what happened is, I could picture a guy like yourself going so hard that your verse be harder than the verse that was on the original record.
Yeah, that's
you know. And I know that's probably the mentality going in. Like, man, okay, you got this hit, but I'm gonna smash on your own record. You know what I'm saying?
It was. So that was a cool era too. But that was like me actually like getting onto the radio and like, okay, cool. This is how I actually get into rotation. Yeah, type business.
So you spoke earlier about working with artists. I mean, listening to artists like Kiki and those guys like that. Now we see that you've actually done songs with these guys, have worked with these artists. I saw the record you did with Zero and all that. What was the feeling when you finally started to actually work with some of these guys that you might just came up listening to now?
It's still a crazy feeling to this day, just to, because I remember specifically, I remember being in high school jamming Slim Thug's album, The Boss of All Bosses.
Yeah.
And just thinking like, bro, if I can get anywhere close to Slim or having a song with Slim, that I'd be cool.
Yeah.
Not knowing like it takes a lot more than that.
Right.
But for me, like that would be my everything. Like just to do a song with anybody that was popping in the city. Cause I felt like I was doing all the car shows. I was going and doing all the battles and stuff, but I could never really like catch a bigger break. You know what I mean? So for me, jamming them into going into making records, it was probably one of the best full circle moments of my life. You know what I mean?
What are some of the things that some of those artists thought about you when they heard you? Because like I say, when I first heard you, I was like, man, this dude can rap.
Well, I think they can appreciate that I can rhyme, because I think if I was trash, they would have told me. But I think more so probably how I carry myself with the music. Like I don't come off like a dickhead. I don't try to, I don't know. I don't think I try to make music that's outside of my character. So I think more so like just the rhyming, just being a respectable person, be like, you know, I could rock with you, you know what I'm saying, and do some music with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
it's hard to do music with somebody you don't like.
Yeah, you know, unless it's strictly business.
Yeah,
like, I know I'm gonna make $1 million. I don't like him, but you know, I'm gonna make
yeah.
But the thing is, the reason I asked that question because I know how their respect thing works, and I know that a lot of artists, when another dope artist is in the room.
I'm gonna tell you something crazy. So when I did the song with Zero, we went to his crib and he dropped a record, hook and verse.
Yeah.
Put it all together. Here you go. Gave me the song.
Yeah.
Man, I took this song and sat on that bitch for 2 months.
Man,
you put a zero.
Because okay, I don't know if this is true, but in my mind, I felt like at the time, there wasn't another Mexican rapper that had a Zero verse. This was 2011, 2010, 2011, somewhere around that time. And it was the biggest feature I had at the time. And in my mind, I was like, if I don't come correct on this song, I fucking ruined all my chances of like coming out with other songs with this dude or even other rappers on this magnitude. So I sat on that bitch for 2 months trying to figure out how to write. You know what I mean? Like I passed on other songs trying to like get this one song down. And then when I finally got it down, I ran with it. But hearing it now, I was like, bro, that shit's trash. I shouldn't have put that on there. That's one of the features if I could go back and rewrite, I would have rewrite it totally different today. But at the time, I was just glad that it happened.
Yeah, because if it's 2011, that's 14 years ago.
No, yes.
So the space you were coming from to write that in was a dope space. You just feel like now I'm better now.
Well, there's verses that I can hear from like 10 years ago or 12 years ago that I'm still comfortable with. Like I can still sit there and listen to and be like, you know, I can still rock with that. But for some reason, this song puts so much fucking pressure on me. Even to this day, I'm like, damn, I could have did that better.
So what was it about the verse that made you feel like?
Because he was so melodic and just saying tight shit that I was such a battle rapper, I couldn't figure out how to rap and do a melody at the same time to keep up with what Zero was doing.
Did you feel like that's what you had to do because it was him? Or just, like you say, now you would just be like, I'm more me?
I think back, even to this day, sometimes I feel if somebody gives you a super melodic verse and a hook and you just straight rap your verse, it kind of throws the balance of the song off almost. Like, it feels like he was on a super wave and then you just came in flat almost.
Gotcha.
So I felt like I needed to add some kind of melodicness to it, and maybe I overthought it. Maybe it did need that.
Yeah.
But at the time, that's what.
Man, I totally get it. I know exactly where you're coming from because that is when you get on a song with a heavy hitter like that. You know, the public is ruthless.
Man, and that's another thing.
Man, that boy told Jeezy Garza head on. Why was he more? You think about it like, nah, that ain't gonna be me.
The first thing is he ain't keep up with roll. He ain't, so
Yeah.
all these things hit your mind because you're a rapper. That's just what happens. So I mean, to this day, I felt like I could have rapped it better, but we've done multiple songs together.
Yeah.
And on those songs, the song was perfect.
Yeah.
Everything he did is perfect.
Yeah, without a doubt.
On my half,
but you're gonna always be on worst critic too.
Factual.
Because I can bet that people who did hear that song in the comment section, you got your props.
They love that
but
song.
it's always good when you are not satisfied with your own work, because once you get complacent, the decline begins. You know, so that's dope.
How is it when you write songs? Is it better to just not think that much and just go into it? And because I hear people say they swag it out, or if we don't think about it, we ain't right.
Yeah,
he lives and he can't do that. He not wired like that.
I think both of them, both. I think if you overthink the song, that's where you mess up the song.
Okay.
So all the hooks that I do, I don't write. If I have a melody or auto tune on a song where it's a hook, which is a lot of my songs nowadays, I had to freestyle that hook because I'm not a singer, so I can't remember a melody. I can't harmonize that well. So as soon as I hear the beat and that like little like spark hits me, turn the mic on.
Yeah.
Like I need to drop this little melody. I need to get out my
because I'm gonna forget it.
Forget it.
Yeah.
So I gotta go off that first initial emotion. You know what I mean? And then whatever it drives me to say, that's the direction of the song.
Yeah.
And so all of my hooks happen like that. And then I'll write the verse because I know for me, like I want to come off tight. Sometimes I'll freestyle a verse, but if I did, it was a melodic singing verse. Like I'll one punch some like melody stuff.
That's why I say you see, a lyricist is not wired up to kind of just do anything. You know, even when you do a scratch, I'm gonna lay the scratch. Sometime you'll lay a scratch just to get the framework, the skeleton of what you want to do. I'll be on the recorder just going, I ain't saying nothing, but I gotta get that cadence.
Exactly.
You know, I'll come back later and fit it out, and fit it all in. So but that's technical. That's that skill set. That's that skill set.
And it did take me a lot of time to learn how to do that because, like I said, I would just want to turn the beat on and just rap. And then what I'm rapping about is I'm just talking shit for 2 minutes. It's like I can't just do that for every song.
Yeah.
So it had to become something else.
Yeah. I think one of the telltale signs when a rapper is really starting to round off into who they are is when you reach the balance where your lyricist, whatever your strong point is, that's going to stand out. So lyricism being your strong point, but also you reach a point where, okay, I want to get my storytelling game up. I want to get my for the ladies game up. I want to get my real life game up. When those categories start to catch up with your lyricism, that's when I think that you're starting to round out.
I dropped a lot of tapes, like from 2002 to about 2011, 2012. Around that time where I did the Zero song, but it wasn't until I made this tape called Brown by Honor that it really made me feel like this is what I'm supposed to be rapping about. Like this is who I'm connected to. Because I was just talking shit for like, even on the song I did with Roll, I probably was just talking shit. So that album kind of like helped guided me into like, okay, what am I going to talk about for the rest of my time rapping? And who am I speaking to while I'm rapping?
Good.
I don't know. I guess I got more conscious about rhyming of like, people are listening because now the people are coming up to me saying, hey man, yo bro, I fuck with your music, It's like, okay, well, what am I telling these people? You know what I'm saying? So I can't just sit, like I said, I can't just talk shit for 2 minutes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta say something worth, you know what I'm saying? Something. So that's where the storytelling came in and pitching like different ideas. And like I said, the Brown by Honor came through and literally like Mexican fans came out the woodworks. Like, yo, we relate to this.
Right.
And so that gave me like, okay, power of word is everything. You know what I'm saying? They listening. So I can't just feed them no bullshit. So that kind of gave me a little bit of a purpose.
What was the time frame between the Zero song and Brown by Honor?
Around the same time.
Around the same time?
Around that same studio that we had a studio off of like 45 and Scott. And Slim came through. Everybody used to come through over there. It was me, Track Sounds, bunch of my partners and stuff like that, and we were just whipping up songs like every day. I slept in there for like 2 years in the studio. I ain't go home not once. I had a shower in there.
Yeah, that's all I need.
Every day. I was sleeping in the studio.
If I can wash up and eat, I'm good.
Yeah, and I went back to the stew. And then that's like, for me, I think that's when I just fell into like gradually knowing who I wanted to be as like an MC.
Right. Was it ever a time where, cause we was talking off camera about like, this game is like a marriage. Did you ever have those moments where you was like, man, this ain't work.
Yeah, sure.
I want to quit. I want to leave it alone. Man.
All the time.
Yeah.
I think even to the day, I think, we all have those moments. But for me, music has become more like a therapy thing for me. Like I can't even just let it go. Even if I just went back to just work and just had a regular job, and like I'm still gonna write in my own time, I'm still gonna rap. Like I can't just feed the hunger and just act like I ain't gonna rap no more. I'll just let it go. It's really therapeutic for me. Like I really like vent a lot of my emotions out through music. I really like speak my mind. And like if me just rapping, talking shit just helps me get through my day, fuck it. That's what I'm gonna do.
Come on.
And you know what's good about that? You can get out what you want to say without no talking back.
Yeah.
You ain't got to argue with nobody.
And the cool thing is, maybe if I put it out, somebody's going to relate to this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it becomes more than just me I'm finna just say some shit. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Over the years, I think I just learned that, my feelings are valid, but also if I say this to these people, maybe they going through that shit and can understand. So it just becomes bigger than me just rhyming on a beat.
Yeah, they absolutely going through it, but it's so many artists that are scared to express their weaknesses on record.
Yeah.
And what happens is when people come up to you and say, yeah, man, I rock with you. See, that's the best example of knowing, because you opening yourself up opens them up. Because you gonna say something that we all go through basically the same stuff. It's just different variations of it. So to me, that's when you become an artist. Yeah. When you really express how you really feel, things that you might not even feel comfortable saying on a regular. Like, should I even tell everybody I feel like this? Yeah. And then you do it, you break through a wall. That's when you become an artist, bro. Yeah. Because if you look at history, the greatest of the greats, that's what they did. They were vulnerable. They expressed that vulnerability, and that's how more people are going through things, and there are people who just got it all together, got a life together. So you are an artist, which represents the minority of individuals that are walking around, but you are part of the majority in terms of, hey, I'm struggling just like y'all.
Because as much as it's helping them, that shit helping me. Because I wouldn't even know, but if I didn't express that shit, I would have let that shit out on my gal. Yeah. I'd let it out on my mom. Everybody would have got it that day. You know what I'm saying? I would have tore the house up type shit. It don't always have to be negative. Right. Sometimes I want people to have a good time.
Come on,
Sometimes
man.
I want them to fall in love, or there's some other shit going on. It just depends on the day. Yeah. And maybe it depends on the beat. Yeah. I hear the beat. That bitch might drive me into some like, I could hear myself talking about this song. This song make me feel this way. Right. This beat make me want to go, have fun. It just depends on what the beat say as well. Yeah. And that depending on the day I'm having and depending on what the beat say, that's where I'm gonna go.
Right. So as time started to pass, did the record label start calling?
Yeah, I wouldn't say bigger labels. I've always messed with like independent labels and distributors over time. I got small checks, big checks. But over for me, it just became like, I think just the independent route was just it was just always around for me. A label was never really just accessible every day. So I think the independent hustle was just all I ever knew. Yeah. Selling CDs, trying to, make little tours here and there, going on these little like circuits here and there. So the chances I did get to sign with people, I think I kind of like talked myself out of that shit. Like when I shouldn't have probably. I should have probably tried it. You know what I mean? But me just being like, nah, man, fuck a deal. I don't want no deal. Nah, they gonna play.
Now, talking yourself out of deals with majors or just
I would say
even just
with
independent
artists, with like artists over the years that I've met and like hung out with or like came by or seen or heard of me, a lot of them have come by and like try to offer me a deal. And it wasn't nothing that they did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Me just being stubborn and not knowing, or just being indecisive and not being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just do it. I just passed on it. You know what I mean? And I probably even shouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? Like some days I think, well, damn, what if I didn't do that? You know what I'm saying? But
what you think made you say, nah, that ain't something I'm interested in? Because I know for me, I wanted to start my own. I never really wanted to be up under nobody in the beginning. So that stubbornness was part of me being like, I want to do what they doing. I don't want to be up under.
That could be one, but I think the unknown. I think signing to somebody and not knowing if that shit was going to pay off and I was just going to be stuck under somebody, or even just having bad blood with the person that, because if it was an artist that I looked up to and then at the
they
end
go
of the day,
bad,
I would just not feel right in my mind. Like, damn, that's fucked up, man. A person, like, we just not cool, dog. Like, and so I couldn't really eat that bullet either.
Yeah.
So I kind of just chilled, you know what I mean? And so over the years, I ended up like, you know, doing other things, you know, to help artists and myself and stuff like that. So that's always been in my mind, but I think just where I'm at now, I feel like I'm cool. Because I kept it cool with everybody still. Like I said, I didn't end up signing, so it's not like I had the issue or shit didn't work out or I owe you some money or something like that.
So when those conversations were being had between you and whatever artist that it was, did it go past the conversation? Did you shut it down in your mind at the conversation phase, or was there any paperwork presented that you could look at?
I got paperwork a few times.
Okay.
And maybe once or twice I didn't agree with the paperwork, but I'm pretty sure we could have talked.
Could have negotiated.
Yeah, but me just being so scary, I was just like, man, I'm gonna pass. I can't do it. Man.
I don't think it's scary. You just being cautious,
well,
bro. You know,
cautious, yeah, but like sometimes, like I said, I wish I would have stepped my foot into that water and just been like, what's going on?
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? I think, like I said, the unknown on both sides.
Yeah.
I don't know what would have happened if it went good. I don't know, but like, I wish I like could have saw it somehow. Like,
some way,
like a different time. And let me see that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if it did good, maybe I do want to go
to the alternate universe. Let me see what would have happened. Yeah. But
come on, man. Let me just see.
Let's measure it out.
I get it. I understand that because it is a situation where sometimes artists would jump in with an artist they got a name or even a label. It's a big label, whatever, and the deal doesn't go the way they want it to go, but retroactively they look at it from a standpoint of like, it got my name out there.
Yeah.
So now once that's over with, I can go on my own and I can go off of this name, and not everything avalanches down to me now because people know me like that.
Over time, too, when it doesn't go well, I think me just being like, you know, just a regular kid from the neighborhood, and I see rappers beefing like, oh, they were just signed with each other. They were there beefing.
Yeah.
I was like, I never want to go through that.
Man.
You know what I mean? Like if like when Young Jeezy would beef with an artist that he had signed, or like maybe a Ross or a 50 Cent, they was beefing with artists they had signed, like that feeling of, damn, we was just getting some money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I hate that shit.
I hate it. I ain't gonna lie. I hate that too, man, because...
So I think that was another reason, a big reason why I was like, man, I'm gonna chill, man.
Yeah.
Just not knowing.
We could think about all them times we was having fun on the road and laughing and doing it. Now all of a sudden we talking crazy about each other.
Yeah.
And in this day and age, where the podcast thing and all is like things that people may not even have known. Me and GT, we got into it 10 years ago and nobody knew it. And now I get on a podcast talking about it, and it brings it back up. Yeah. So
but like I said, sometimes I wish I just would have known. Like, what the fuck would that shit be there?
So in terms of the business side, as you was going through your creative, because everything we've basically talked about up to this point has been from the creative side, just the artistic side. Was there any along the way where you was kind of picking up some business game and focusing on, if I want to do this for myself, I'm lining my ducks up?
Yeah, Slim Thug actually put me up on a lot of game.
Yeah.
At that same studio we had, man, I said this on Mike D's podcast, that studio got raided. And after it got raided, I was kind of stuck out. I was sleeping at my partner's crib, like didn't know what to do, but I thought the laws was coming for me. And after they didn't come, my partner, you know, he was like, bro, if they was gonna come, they would have been snatchers. They ain't come. What you want to do? And so from that day, I made my homeboy my manager. And I was like, okay, we're gonna put your email into my Instagram. They're not gonna call today, they're not gonna call tomorrow, but maybe in a year, somebody gonna call. Maybe they want to feature, maybe they want to show, you know, because at the time I was so shook, I didn't want to jump back outside. I was like, man, I'm cool, fuck that. So
I gotta wait, let me stay with
yeah, like I'm chilling, I don't do nothing else.
Yeah.
And he kind of, being my homeboy, he was like, nah, bro, I ain't gonna let you like crash like that. You know what I mean? We got to get back out there. And he don't know really nothing about the music business, but you know, we were just hungry for it. So I was like, bro, if I put your number down and they call, just tell them what you think we worth. Maybe 500, maybe 1,000. I don't know. Just tell them something. And then over time, people would slowly call his number. And we was picking up shows after show. And then Slim, right after that situation, while we were still trying to figure it out, he would pick us up in his Bentley. And like, just come with me. And he would post on Instagram, hey, man, I'm finna be at the barbershop. I'm finna be, you know, at this park. Or I'm gonna be at Greenspoint Mall, pull up. And he would pop trunk in the Bentley and we would sell t-shirts out the back of his trunk. And he was just showing me, like, dude, I'm in a Bentley, popping trunk, selling t-shirts. If you here in a Magnum or a Dodge, you need to be selling t-shirts. So you need to stop tripping and this is how you get some money. And he really just showed me that there was a way for me to get out of my slump. And motivated me to try to hustle another way.
And a lot of people don't know how Slim is influential like that with so many new artists. That's one, I hear the story a lot.
He never never asked me for nothing. If anything, I asked him for help. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me get a verse, let me get a feature. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't never asked me for nothing. But I think that he just saw the predicament I was in and was like, yo, that's fucked up. I'm gonna come show you, you know, it ain't all the end of the world. If you really want to still rap, bro, it's possible. And so I appreciate him for that.
And I think too that's an example of a brother like Slim recognizing his own power to give you an inspiration at a down time in your life. And and as you was telling that story, you kept saying, he showed me. Not told me. Showed me. You know, and that's big. A lot of guys want something given to them, or they can be, even if they're told, they like, yeah, I hear you, but I want you to give me something. So to put you out there like that, and then to show his work ethic that, hey, like I say, I am in a Bentley. I don't necessarily have to do this, but I'm still rooted in that work ethic.
And then years later, bro, I go to his crib, and because I was like, okay, well, I'm cool with Slim now. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go get a feature from him. Hey, Slim, let me get a feature. All right, come to my crib. Went to his crib. We recorded. He recorded me, you know, rapping my verse. I recorded him rapping his verse. Bro, I leave his crib. Didn't even take the song with me. I'm like fucked up. I'm like, damn, I don't got the session. Now, what am I calling him and tell him to email it? He don't know how to email that shit. Like, I'm fucked up. So I'm home. I'm tripping. Weeks go by. I'm like, damn, I'm gonna get this song. And he calls me. He goes, yo, that song we did, I'm gonna put it on my album. And he goes, I'm gonna add Propane, Killer, Dobie, and I'm gonna call it Welcome to Houston.
Oh yeah, that's hard.
And so
that's on the mixtape when they had when we had the All Star.
Yes. And so he put me on that song and got me in the video, all that. And we shot the video, all that.
So the song originally was your song that you say, man, come jump on one of my songs.
Man, I went to his crib. I'm playing beats. Like, I'm thinking I got jams. Man, all them beats was trash. Because he just got such high quality level beats. And so I just stumbled upon one of my partners, TJ Freeway. And he had a beat. And as soon as I played it, someone was like, that's the one. And so we just started writing right there. Boom, 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 boom. Like I said, he wrote his verse. I wrote mine. We recorded both. No hook. And so I left like, damn, I ain't got no hook. I ain't got no files. I messed up for my album. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Weeks later.
That was a soundtrack of the All-Star weekend when he had it down here.
But I mean, so basically the Lord made your memory lapse. So because the first thing, the whole time I would have been recording, I'd have been like, okay, I got to get these files. I make sure it's right. Is everything on there? How did you walk out the door and forget the very thing that you came over there to do.
I'm so anxious. I'm in the presence of I'm happy to be here. I'm happy it's happening.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just thinking like, okay, yeah, this is getting done. And I really didn't even think about snatching the files. But luckily I didn't snatch
Exactly.
the files. You know what I mean? Because it became so much bigger than what I could even imagine. And that goes back to me being on that school bus, jamming Slim Thug Boss of All Bosses. Because I remember jamming his album specifically thinking, I want to do something with Slim Thug. And then full circle, he put me on his album.
And seeing then the names, the other people that you say he put Kill on there, he put Propane on
Dope
there.
Easy. It was a lot of rappers on there.
Man, yeah. But here's the thing though. See, all the training, all the work that you done all those years, I bet you didn't feel funny about that verse once it came. That all come around.
That's when the verse, I wrote it. I didn't go back and try to rewrite it.
You knew.
I was like, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't care who they put on that bad boy after that. Yeah.
And to be honest, I didn't even know like it was going to be other rappers on it. So when that, even for me, like leaving the verse on there, that was one of the few verses that I was like, damn, okay, you don't have to change it. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I might want to change it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll go back and be like, you know what, it could be a little bit more melodic or it could be a little bit more punchlining. You might need to, you know, say some tight shit just to make the song tight.
Right, no question.
Yeah, one of the few times I was comfortable with the verse.
Yeah, no, that's a good time to be comfortable. But once you, especially you didn't know it, you look up and they own it. You know, it's like,
that's factual too.
Yeah, it's like, hold on, because if you would have been easy on the song, that's one of the moments you say, I'm gonna go on and chill, and all them throat slashers is on the track. You like, hey, I got yeah. And see, I got a rule. I ain't gonna lie, my rule is, and then I apply this to myself. I ain't never been a dude that's gonna hear what everybody else did and go try to go back and readjust mine. If I take the L, if I didn't come like and everybody, I'm like, you know, I gotta eat it. I gotta eat it.
And to be honest with you, if I had to take the L, I wouldn't even know where to get the files to rewrap the shit anyway.
Yeah.
How do I even get this on?
That's a good point, man. Man, we got the great GT Garza in the building with us, man, educating us, giving us this game, giving us these teachings, man. So, what are some of the new things that you're working on right now? Like, because I heard you say earlier that, and correct me if I'm wrong, you said that this is what you do. You don't do anything else? No, just 9 to 5? Yeah.
Well, recently I started ghostwriting a little bit for a couple of people on the side just to create like some extra revenue, do some extra shit.
Right.
For a minute I felt like I fell into like an autopilot mode where I was just like rapping a bunch and just making songs and just putting them out, getting them a distribution just to put out these tapes. So like I put out maybe like 3 or 4 albums a year. And was just putting out tapes. I'll shoot maybe 1 or 2 videos and I felt like I was cool. So I don't know, man, like I was working on this album with this female artist, and then while I was getting it mixed, Bruce Bang at iMix Houston and his live guitarist, DeLuna, were like, man, we should do a tape together. And I've never really done an album with like live instruments, like, you know, instrumentation. It's just been either MP3s or like, you know, I'm with the producer and he just making some stuff, we sampling some things. So it became like an extra like element into the music. And so it almost put like a different battery in my back. So every Monday we like for the last month or this last 2 months, we've been in the studio every Monday. We whip like 12 songs up. And so I ended up calling the album Sunset Song 16. And it's really just a dedication to Houston. It's all like I was telling Kay, it was all like just Southern vibes, a bunch of like gospel sounds, like soul music. Like I'm trying to do more of like a cruising album. Like I just want you to jump on the freeway and you can go
just ride out.
Yeah. So we made 12 tracks for it. Some of the songs that stuck out like being super like hard, or that was like the first few tracks that I was testing out to try to see what I was gonna make. And then slowly after them 2 or 3 songs, the album kind of like formulated itself. And so now we're getting ready to put it out. Probably, if not, we're going to do a listening party. I'll send you the flyer, but we got the flyer yesterday, July 15th at iMix. And then the album probably come out like on the 1st of August or something.
Man, you know, like I say, artists like you are needed, bro, because as a fan of lyricism, it's always fun to hear guys and how they put their craft together. And you don't sound like nobody. You know what I'm saying?
I
So at
appreciate
the
it.
end of the day, that's the goal and as a rapper, that's one of the worst things when somebody compare. Man, you remind me of hey man,
I've
I
got
know
that
you
over
don't
the
mean no
years.
harm, but it makes me like, I thank you, but I'm not him, Now, give people some advice about, or artists some advice about how to reach the point where you are now in terms of you figured out a way to do this for a living. Well, because I don't knock nobody who got to do what they got to do. You got to get up a job,
For
get a
sure,
job,
yeah,
pay your
yeah.
bill. That's what you need to do. But it's not many artists who have not been to the mountaintop of having a big record deal, selling millions of records, but they're able to sustain themselves through their work. How are you able to do that, and how would you tell other people to get to that point?
Well, the first thing that I learned, being like, in the game for so long that I've been, is nobody's gonna tell you the game, which is fucked up. Like,
I agree.
A lot of people are not gonna show you like how to, or tell you how to, like, get your ass cap or your BMIs and stuff like that. Like, you really have to go figure that out for yourself. So I would say the first step is, get you an ass cap, get you a BMI. Yeah. That way, every time that you're putting out your music, you can register it, you know what I'm saying? So that you can get your publishing. If you're gonna put out, a song here or there, make sure that you put it out through a DistroKid or a TuneCore. But when you put out these records, try to promote it the best way you can. In today's world, being an independent artist, it's all about visual content. A lot of people are streamers nowadays. So streaming is an everyday thing. So when people see you streaming, their eyes are on you every day. We know out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
So if you're an artist today, you need to be on these social media sites. And it doesn't even cost any money to do it. You could shoot the video off of your phone. And they all shoot up and down: TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram. So you only have to shoot it one time for free off your phone. It could be a new song. It could be an older song you got. It could be all the songs you got, because to the fan, it's new to them. So I would shoot a song. Say I got one song, I would shoot the video for it. If pay my little $500 to $1,000 for the video, because I still want to get it on YouTube and everything. But what I would really do is I would take that one song, break it down into 2 verses. With that first verse, I would shoot at the laundromat maybe on a Monday, because by the time I put out this video and they seen it on that Monday, if I post this same video on Wednesday and Friday, the engagement and the likes are going to go down, because they already seen me post it on Monday. You know what I'm saying? So I'm basically posting that same thing again Wednesday and Friday. And they're like, man, we already seen that. You got to show us something else. So instead of me wasting that $500 to that $1,000 on a video, I can really shoot Monday at the laundromat, Wednesday in the hood, Friday at the gas station. That way you getting the same song, the same verse, 3 different ways. But if you didn't catch it on Monday at the laundromat, you caught it for the first time in the hood on Wednesday.
Wow.
So I'm still trying to bleed this song to you, but you catching it visually different every time. And it didn't cost me no money, because I did it off my phone.
Come on, man. Come on.
You know what I mean? Because TikTok is shot up and down, YouTube Shorts, Instagram is shot up and down. So it's really free to get yourself seen and heard today. Back then, we didn't have that to where we could just jump on our phone and be seen. So you don't have to have a big budget or big money to get yourself on social media and be heard. You just got to create the content.
Right.
And you have the content already with your music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's one thing.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of shit we could do,
Yeah.
but that's a good start.
Yeah, because that's being innovative, number
For
one.
sure,
man.
man.
Yeah, and I think that when you put all your eggs into this basket, you better be innovative. You better figure out a way, because the fate that you got to step out on in order to say, this is all that I'm gonna do, in a world where, I'm sure you can relate to this. A lot of times, you don't know where the money is coming from or when it's gonna come. But you reach a point where you do know it's coming. I know it's coming. Yeah. But I don't necessarily know where or when it's gonna come from. But the reason you know it's coming is because you planted the seeds and put the work in to generate the exposure.
And these shortcuts of not having to spend on your bread or your budget on trying to be seen, it'll help you a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because normally we'd have to pay a director for these same visuals, or to be, you know, I want to shoot my first verse at the laundromat at this thing. It's like, well, I can just tell my homeboy to come shoot with me, or maybe go buy a camera and we just shoot at these locations. And really, you're just trying to give your record legs. Right. You know what I mean? Because we're so used to posting the flyer once, posting the video once, and be like, oh, we good.
Yeah.
It don't work like that today.
Yeah.
People have such a short attention span to where if you don't catch me in that first second, like if I go on TikTok and I scroll and you ain't saying something tight in that first second or doing something in that first second, I'm scrolling somewhere else.
Yeah.
So for me being like the battle rapper or the punchline rapper that I am, I know my audience wants to just see me rhyme. So the minute that I'm posting that video, man, I got to be going off for the first couple bars, because that's what they like. That's what they want to see. Yeah. And so maybe if you're not a fan of me and you do see it, maybe that does make you want to subscribe.
Absolutely.
So you just got to always try to create new visuals for the person to see it for today, because content for us is every day.
Yeah, I know Killer does that a lot. In his car. But
you could be in the whip.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. The one thing you say about those visuals, you might do the TikTok and the social media on that phone, but them visuals you put out. Like with Kiki, that ain't no damn.
No.
For those high quality.
That's his quick hitters. You talking about the quick hitting stuff,
you should still the big songs that you got your big features on, or that you're really trying to put some like money or budget into to get like radio or different things. You definitely do those. Yeah. But even if you did do that big song with Kiki and shot the video, once you post a video with Kiki one time on that Monday, by the time you post it again on TikTok or Instagram or on that Wednesday or Friday, the engagement is not going to be the same, because Instagram knows you're trying to promote something, so they're going to shadow ban. Ooh. So what you got to do is try to trick the algorithm by shooting the same song a different way every time.
Say, man, 20-second timeout. He did it.
There you go.
Bro, he just said that when Instagram finds out that you trying to promote something, they're gonna shadow ban it.
Yeah.
See, this is a aspect of that I think about on YouTube a lot. I know YouTube is no choice. Even Facebook, certain things. So of course Instagram falls into that same pocket. Go ahead.
Well, okay. The reason it does that is because they're not making money from you posting that. So that little blue button that says boost post on the side, they want you to click that. So you spend that $5, $10, $15, $20 per day, so it can be seen to the 60,000 people that follow you. So even though I got 60,000 people, when I post, it's not showing it to us.
That's absolutely the facts, man. Free game alert, man. Yeah.
So to get around that sometimes is, if you don't want to post the same thing twice because you know they're going to catch it, is I'm going to post a song, but I'm going to rap it at a different location every time.
Man, boy, I just learned, boy, master class.
And really, you just bleeding the song. Really, you trying to bleed it into the song, the song into the fan's head.
Yeah.
But you're really tricking the algorithm as well by giving it a different visual each time.
See, look at God got you your new phone. Now you can start flipping down all over.
Yeah.
Now, hold on, man. So this dude done went from battling rappers to battling algorithms around this man. He's
trying to adapt.
Digital world,
Just trying to adapt.
No, that's some excellent, beautiful, beautiful game and knowledge, man. And I think a lot of people see, because you are one of those artists. We've talked to several, but you are one of those artists who represent being that hybrid, that middle ground between the old school and the new school. You are right in that pot. He just looked like he's 17, but he been around,
Yeah.
So for you to speak in one sentence about hopping out, selling CDs, and now talking about tricking algorithms and things of that nature, that also points to your adjustment and your evolution in learning how to do things go.
Also, if we telling people or young artists, study a lot.
Yeah.
Study as much as you can. I know that probably, like, if you're not really, man, that shit sound corny. Man, that shit'll save you a headache. It'll save you tons of headache. Like I said, you can study how people are putting their records together, how people are rhyming, how they putting their business together, how the management stuff works. You know what I'm saying? Are they taking 5% from you, 10% from you? Like all that, just study or ask questions. If you don't know, you need to ask. You know what I'm saying? It's never a dumb question.
Yeah, it ain't never a dumb question. Ain't never nothing wrong with studying if you claim you want to be successful and truly independent. If they don't want to study, then this ain't what you want.
Dog,
go work at the car wash.
Because if you don't know something, the answer is already on YouTube. It's Google. Your homeboy got the answer. Like you can just ask. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So outside of the city of Houston, because we definitely got love for our legends and all our greats that have come out of the city, and you've been able to work with a lot of them. Who are some artists outside of the city that you look at and say, man, I would love to do a song with that guy or that person? Like
my favorite punchline rappers, because it's just would be like a Jadakiss, a Fabulous, a Pusha T. Those artists really would make me like step my game up when it rhymes. Like that would be one of them verses that I would be like, all right, I'm gonna take a week to write this. You know what I mean? I would appreciate the level of skill it would take me to write it. You know what I mean? Like it would make me feel dope if I'm on a song neck and neck and be like, we going off together. You know what I mean?
And being from the battle rap culture, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm speaking from my own. What happens is early on, just being in that culture, there's no intimidation factor when you get on. If you was ever to get on with some of those names that you mentioned, it's like you feel like you belong.
It's like an exciting thing. It's like because when somebody says some tight shit, you go, oh, okay, bet. And so it makes you want to like say some tight shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out the best way to like, how am I gonna wreck this up? You know what I mean? Because I want that same feeling. And that just goes back to me watching my partner demolish somebody at the lunch table. That woo feeling.
Yeah.
I want that. You know what I'm saying? Like that make me feel good. And when we were talking about even the depressing songs, like when people come up to us and tell us like, man, your song did something or did, that make me feel good. So on both spectrums, you know what I'm saying? Good and bad of like my emotion. Like when people say that shit, that's what keeps me going.
Yeah, because and another thing I look at too, man, that's as the more we do this interview, it's starting to bother me. Your name needs to start being mentioned when they start talking about lyricists in the city. We gonna hear about the different names that we hear about, but now just thinking more and more and watching you and getting a chance to hear you, your name needs to be mentioned in that vein, because we talk about technical lyricism and punchlines. That's a thinking man's game. That's a thing. We can put together. We can keep it simple. We all go up and down the scale and the spectrum, but we got to get to the point where when these top 10s and top 20s of not just rappers, I'm talking about lyricists. Your name needs to be mentioned.
To be like, how can I say this, man? Growing up to like all the like rhyming and stuff. How can I say this? Do you feel like when people say like, man, you should be bigger than where you are, does that make you upset?
No, because if somebody tells me that, it's not coming from a bad place from them.
Yeah.
They are basically saying, dude, you great.
Because over time, people have told me that, like, bro, you should be bigger than where you at. Or, bro, you should. And it's like, I don't know, dog. Sometimes that feeling sucks. I'm
gonna tell you though. Let me give you some big brother game real quick. It's two ways to look at it. Like I say, if somebody that doesn't know you like personally, they know who you are, they know your music, but they say, man, I just wish that you were up there. You should be up there with whoever. It's coming from a place of love from them. They want that for you. Yeah. Now, if it comes from somebody who's been around you, they ain't never supported you.
When they tell me that, I go home and I'm thinking, what the fuck am I not doing this? Not connected.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
You know what I'm saying? It's not even the person.
Yeah.
It's more so I take that home and be like, what the fuck where is this not like matching up?
That's where I'm going. See, if you have, like I say, somebody that don't support you, but they talking out, it's like, well, man, you one of the reasons why I'm not. But
no, because they support. I feel like
well, some do, some don't. But what to your point, what happens is you start to think, because in your mind you feel the same way.
Yeah.
You in your mind, you like, yeah, I should be here, be there.
Yeah.
But in the knowledge that you acquire just about the industry in general, sometimes it made me realize, well, wait a minute, I'm not set up to be a part of that up there. I'm speaking for me, because some of the things that you may have to do, or some of the ways you may have to be
to get to that,
you're not gonna do that. So when I think about it from that angle, I don't feel bad, like man, I should be there. Because I'm like, well, no, because when I get even halfway there, if this gets said to me or this get proposed to me, it's gonna be a problem, and I'm gonna be right back. So, but you speaking more from just an organic place, like just from the fairness of it being a great artist.
Trying to figure out, like, just in life, like, how am I not playing these cards right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because everybody's coming up to me being like, you dope.
Yeah.
But am I fucking not dope enough? Like, it really eats your soul sometimes.
It's so many factors though, GT, because it's absolutely things that we could do better.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely things. We have lazy moments where, man, I could have been grinding harder. I should have stayed out on the road another 2 weeks. I was ready to come home. Whatever the case might have been, it's going to always be some onus that we got to place on ourselves. But for the most part, the components are so complex where,
I will say this. Music has gave me the little bit that I feel that I've got for myself, just like being able to sustain life out of music. I am appreciative for it. For sure. I do appreciate that shit.
Yeah.
I think just me being such a competitive person, like, sometimes I can't eat the shit.
Yeah.
Bro. I just can't eat it, dog.
I look at it like,
shit pisses me off sometimes.
I look at it like this. Most lyricists that I know, they ain't there. Like, it's like, you look at it more of technique. You look at
you got guys like Cannabis and I mean, because here's the deal. What you do, and you spoke about balance as far as the artistic side, your strong point is the lyricism. That type of high level thinking on record, it don't resonate with everybody, because people don't want to think that hard all the time. So when you spoke about the balance of knowing what kind of records, I got to make this for the female. Yeah, you have that in you. You can do it. Some, like Keisto said, some cats can't do it. Everything is, and it can't be that way. But nah, bro, you are already successful, but it's nothing wrong with, like you said, I'm grateful. You could be grateful but not satisfied. It ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's exactly what it is.
It ain't nothing wrong with
That's
that.
Exactly.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro.
But how do you satisfy that shit? Like, how do I break that cycle of beating myself up, not being satisfied?
Well, you work harder, number one, and I'm a believer in God and a higher power to ask him, what do I need to be doing? Or guide me to where I need to be to get the satisfaction that I'm looking for. Because I'm not a person who believes that the only way to get to whatever the mountaintop is to go through those industry channels. I don't believe that crap. I don't believe it at all. I know you can get there, but a lot of what you said a few minutes ago is part of the answer. The way you were just breaking down that game about how to utilize social media and the internet, that opened up a whole new world for artists who, I don't want to be on a label. I can't get on a label.
Factual.
You got a whole world that you control to a degree, tricking the algorithm, all these different things, but never lose sight of the guerrilla warfare, either the footwork, getting out here on these streets. It can't just be all internet. It can't just be all streets. We got to merge the two.
Blend them together.
Yeah, and it's hard to do everything by yourself, bro. I don't know what your team look like.
No, it is true.
That plays a role into it also,
I'm not really, I'm not upset about my situation. I'm cool. I think that sometimes when I just get in a room with other artists and MCs or people that's, I look up to as well, I just feel like sometimes I just needed, like, is there an answer that I don't get or something that I'm not doing that maybe I don't see? You know what I mean? So, because like when I leave here, I'm going to go home and ask myself the same question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I live with that every day. Like, oh yeah, you dope. You should be bigger than what you are. So I try to figure that shit out damn near every day. You know what I'm saying? That I'm rhyming.
Yeah. I remember Kiki said one thing. He's saying basically to always just stay focused on who focuses on you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Stay training, stay focused, serving them and tunnel vision to them. Cause that's going like Bun. You look at Bun. Bun didn't really just go all the way around. Bun just really was underground and just stayed in his course. And then somehow or another, God just started dropping blessings and blessings and blessings and blessings. All he mostly did was say his rhymes and go help people.
You know, and two, sometimes, like I saw several of your videos that had 1 million+ views. My theory on that, speaking for myself in situations, I've had songs that have had nice amounts of views. I always think, man, them people are still out there. You know, the people who viewed that, the people who clicked that, the people who liked it, they still out there. The challenge is always trying to figure out how to get them, gather them, and consolidate them to where I'm the centralized location where they find me. And that's always the challenge. So you see a lot of these cats, they go viral with clips, they go viral with whatever it is that they're doing. We have to figure out how to bring everything to this center, which is you. You know, so the discouragement is a natural thing, but it can't be a permanent mindset.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, we all cry. Because look, you said something, you hit on a hell of a point. I've been in situations where I'm easily the brokest dude in the room. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think like, okay, it's like, man, you know, but in your mind, from the same competitive spirit that you had from day one, in your mind, you like, I kill all these dudes. But it's not about that. You have to learn that a lot of it has to do with just how you approach the business side and incorporate the artistic side into it. But
go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm done. I'm done.
Say, Kay say that, but in actuality, Kay's actually the richest man in the room. Almost everybody shows the respect and the love when it comes to Kay Reno.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but guess what? And that's cool.
Yeah.
But like what GT said, like, hey man, I'd like to get out this Bentley too, you know what I'm saying? And it may not be about just that, but just to having the ability to say, okay, we can be on the same level playing field artistically, but I want to be on the same playing field with these guys as far as my status as well. Yeah, you know.
I feel that, man, and and sometimes, like what we were just talking about, like sometimes I question myself when I'm at the crib, and what you were just saying. But sometimes it be, you know, maybe God got me where I need to be. You know what I'm saying? Like if He wanted me to have more, I would have more. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just try to learn as much as I can and take it, you know, a day at a time. But just me being in such a competitive manner, I'm always gonna want more.
That's don't never lose that quality because you know. The same way you say, well, you know, maybe God has me where that could be true, but maybe it ain't true.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, maybe God is like, okay, well, man, you know, you got to push a little harder.
And with this new tape that we were just talking about, it almost felt like I kind of fell back in love with music. You know what I mean? Like it gave me a different battery in my back. It made me like we made this tape in a month. Man, it take me 3-4 months to write a whole album. You know what I mean? If not longer. So it just the new energy it brought to me. I was appreciative of that, you know what I mean? So it's been tight, you know what I mean?
Nah, you and it's the same scenario with the chase game. So your gratitude comes from being grateful for where you are. But we were just talking about this. Was it last week? We was talking to somebody who's like, you here and you looking up there. I want to get up there.
Yeah.
But it's somebody that's here that's looking at GT Garza. Like,
and it never stopped. It never stopped,
yeah.
Bro. Since I first started rapping, I've been chasing something I can never fucking catch.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what I'm chasing.
Right.
Because I was broke. Now I'm not broke. But I'm still not satisfied.
Can't be.
Like, it's just always going to be something until I don't even know when it's going to be enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I can't tell you what it is.
Well, let me tell you why you should always be unapologetic about that mindset. Because how much money do Elon Musk got?
Billion.
Have he stopped? Have he stopped trying to get it?
Nah, hell no.
Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, have they reached the point? Have you ever seen an announcement where they say, "Hey, y'all, I got enough money. I'm done. Y'all go ahead and try to catch up." They are still trying. So whatever you have, it's no shame in that, because it's no such thing as having enough. Now, people will say, "Well, I don't need all that." It ain't just about you.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I would love to have $1 billion, not for me to have $1 billion, because I could think of all the stuff that I can do for other people if I had that.
Exactly.
So the disappointment that comes from what you're saying, when I think what I relate to from my angle is when something comes up that I see somebody need and I can't do it for them. Ain't got to do with me. I'm gonna eat. I got a roof over my head. But if I could be watching the news and, oh man, that old lady need $25,000 to get her such and such fixed, and I'm the dude that want to say, okay, well, hey, let's do that for her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Would,
yeah, if I could, I would. You know, so never feel apologetic about wanting to have that spirit. You know, it's your own family, things you want to do. Like, hey, nah, so you'll get there, but the fight got to be constant. And the way you broke that whole thing down a minute ago, man, your innovative mind, the capacity to figure that out exists inside you.
Yeah.
You just gotta just keep on figuring it out. Yeah, you know, keep on working it out. Yeah, but
all that hunger, man.
That's what you're supposed to be there.
Yeah,
man. You know, the one of the things that pissed me off the most is when I see cats who they got there and they didn't have a hard road getting there. I'm not mad because you had an easy road getting there. I'm mad because you didn't appreciate when you got there.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So now you relaxed and you got lazy, you got complacent, and then you fell off. Now you back down here complaining. Yeah. It's like, no, dude, you was there. You was right there. Sure. Or you got there and you just squandered off what you had, the availability that you had, the access, you blew it because you didn't appreciate it. You know, you go.
And to be honest with you, I've known a few artists that got a major deal and signed, and then after a while they lost their deal either because something didn't work out, right. You know, they probably didn't sell enough, whatever. And then when they became an independent, they didn't know how to do the basics as an independent.
Yeah.
Because somebody was always doing it for them. So it became like, well, shit, now that I got to figure this out myself, where do I even start? You know what I mean?
Don't know what to do. It's like a kept woman. And she been had a sugar daddy and tricks all her life, boy. As soon as that play out, the body ain't what it used to be. And she got to try to figure out how to get a job. She don't know how to do nothing for herself. So the thing I always have said about Houston and our region, but particularly our city, is that out of necessity, we learned the game. We figured out the game because we was rejected. So we had to learn.
When that shit happens, Kay, if I end up being cool with an artist that I know like was popping or whatever, when they get back independent, bro, I'll tell their ass, hey, this how I'm doing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because bro, what am I not gonna tell you for? I'm cool with you. You know what I'm saying? Man. I feel like if I didn't tell you, I'd be a hoe or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'll tell their ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And they want to know, because we, you can't blame somebody for something they just didn't have knowledge of. And one of the biggest mistakes you see a lot of guys make when they get those deals, they feel like, I'm here and I'm always I made it. Yeah. And maybe you did. But maybe you didn't, because more people lose deals than keep deals. Yeah. That's just the reality of the music business.
When you got out them deals, you didn't know the promoters, you don't know the marketing team, you don't know the radio people, you don't know the DJs, because really everybody took care of that for it.
And it's embarrassing. I've seen a lot of artists, and it's embarrassing because when you've been all on the video shows and you've been to the mountain, you've been on world tours and all that, and then you see a guy back down, it's embarrassing to them, and so we have to make it just like with the brother, it's nothing for you to be ashamed of. And I don't try to treat them like that. No, it's nothing to be ashamed of. You just have to, you got brought up too fast and you didn't understand the game, and we shouldn't never treat them.
It's almost like we met like in the middle. Like, I'm trying to get there where you was, and now that you're here, you got to turn back around type, but we can kick game now. When you was up here, I couldn't really talk to you like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to climb the mountain.
Yeah.
So now that you came back down, it's like I got something to tell you on the way up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're trying to go up there, it's hard back here, but we can get there this way.
And you got a wealth of knowledge that you wouldn't have had you got snatched up early on in your life and brought up there, or you would have had to learn it the hard way. You know the game.
And then I've even ran into artists, bro, that have been in the game for a long time, or people that have been in the game longer than me and been like, man, them boys never told me how to do that shit. They never showed me how to do this, that, and the third. And that made me feel even more fucked up. Like, how somebody not gonna tell you that?
Envy and jealousy is a real thing, bro. And fear of being passed up is a real thing.
Whack, bro.
It's whack because I look at certain people like that I admire. I'm like, man, I could never pass you up, at least in my mind. And I would never feel threatened if I was
Bro,
up
our
there. I would
stories
never
are
feel
different,
threatened
our
by that.
styles are different, our moms are different. We'll never come up the same. We went to different schools, everything is different.
Yeah, but
Just-
the insecurities that
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say you would be surprised because you're a veteran, you know. Y'all would be surprised at how insecure some of the most successful artists in the game, platinum set, they are very insecure. They feel as though just putting GT Garza on a 16 is gonna shift their whole fan base. Nobody's ever gonna listen to their music again. Everybody gonna just start, and that's just not the reality, man. So you know that the insecurity and the envy and all that, it's a real thing, man. They just feel like I can't pull him up because he gonna take everything I got. No, I'm not.
No, I've seen it, dog. And I told myself I can't be like that.
Yeah.
Man. That's not something I'm trying to do.
Yeah, nah, brother. You know that's the spirit to have. That's the best spirit to keep, man. Keith, so you got anything else before we get on about him?
We on Underground Dialogue, right? Yeah. So I want to do some Underground Dialogue with you real quick, if you don't mind.
No, I'm mind.
Okay, so as a Latino rapper, I wanted to get your thoughts about what you think about ICE right now and how Trump is handling that.
That shit is horrible.
Yeah.
So I'm not pro-Biden, I'm not pro-Trump.
Yeah.
I know they say the Democrats are for the people, but I don't really feel that they are for the people.
I agree.
So I'm more of a community person.
Right.
So I'm for the people. So whatever the people are against, I'm against.
Yeah.
So if we're against Trump as a whole, that's what I'm against.
Yeah.
And so for me, the way that they're going about deporting people to me isn't right. The way they're treating people isn't right. If there is a manner that we have to try to get, like if you did come here illegally and you're a criminal, yes, bro, you got to go. Yeah. I'm sorry, my G. Yeah, you came over here, you tripping. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? First of all, you didn't come over here right. Now, if you're over here and you're illegal, but you at least trying to do something with your life, I feel like every case is going to be different.
Yeah.
You can't just throw everybody into one boat and be like, y'all all got to go. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because immigrants do so much work in this, you know what I'm saying, in this country. And Trump and them know that the farmers, the hotels, even Trump Hotel, if you look at all the workers, they're all Latin descent, or majority. You know what I'm saying? So you're really going to mess the economy up and a lot of business that you have, Trump, by trying to kick all these people out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen stories where some of these people that he's arresting, their kids were Marines or in the Army. Yeah. So they're showing like, yeah, we may not have had it where we from, but we trying to come here because what y'all paint on TV is the American dream. Yeah. Since the beginning of time, y'all been painting freedom. And if you want to come over here to be somebody, you got to come to America to achieve what you can't achieve anywhere else on this earth. Yeah. So we sell this dream to people. And then when they come here, tell them, nah, we only gonna allow that shit a certain way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We didn't care about it this whole time, but we care about it now. And if you're not with it, we're gonna kick you out. Yeah. So it is a way to go about it, but the way that they going about it to me is a fucked up way.
Yeah. I agree. Well, I didn't hear one word I disagree with, brother. That was well said, man. And we appreciate you for coming through and giving us a life game, music game. And you welcome anytime, brother. Anytime you got some on your mind. Hey, man, I need to come by the underground. And, hey, just call your brothers up, man, and it's all love, man.
No, for sure. That Trump shit is crazy, dog. It's crazy, dog. It is crazy to think about, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you got some more to say, go on say it.
No, I'm just saying, like, it just affects so many families, dog. And it just ain't the Latin community. It's all community.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? It's the Indian community, the Asian community. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of communities here even in Houston.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because they going to do sweeping.
Yeah, man. And I think that, I don't know, bro. I just think that Trump is doing a lot of things that he shouldn't do. You know what I mean? And we're not really checking him for it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not even that. Even with like the war and all that stuff, like he's doing so many things that we just don't agree with. I don't see how any of this is for the people. You know what I'm saying? And if it's not for the people, then we got to figure as a whole, how do we make it for the people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because even in today's society, they were like, oh, after we done with Trump, we're going to get this Democrat dude that he for y'all. I don't even believe he for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it just become a thing. Well, shit, I don't even think none of the government is for the people.
Well, you preaching to the choir, brother.
Yeah, that's a good one right there.
But also, you know, to say it like this, you know, America is in scripture and prophecy, and is set up to be torn down by God Himself. So somebody had to be the one to help usher that in or accelerate that process, and Donald Trump is that man. So in that essence, on a grand scale, he's doing what he's born to do. You know, he's doing what he's born to do, and it's not something that's morally lined up, but that's gonna be part of the thing. The things he's doing is part of the catalyst that's gonna bring this country down, man. As we see it unraveling right before our eyes, bro.
And bro, he'll say something one week,
exactly,
backtrack next week, and bro, he's the worst contradiction of all time.
But what we have to do, we have to use those things that we see right in front of us as rallying and unifying points. Because so we have to come together.
The crazy thing, like we were talking about earlier, is when I came out with that, when I told you I found my purpose, I made that CD Brown by Honor. A lot of my music is Mexican orientated because a lot of Mexican fans relate to the things that we've been through, either together as just a culture or singular, like, man, my gal left me, your gal left you growing up, whatever it could be. But a lot of songs that I've done over time, I did a song called Fuck a Green Card, probably like in 2013. I did a song called Fuck with a Mexican, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So I've always tried to communicate with my audience. You know what I'm saying? Through the music. Whether it be through immigration, having fun, life, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I've always been trying to like communicate with them like some kind of positive message. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna get through this shit type shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm appreciative, you know, that I got them fans that'll fuck around and jam that.
Yeah, no question about it, man. And like, again, man, unity is the key.
Yeah.
And never let society and policy and lies and all that and corruption, never let that divide the black and the brown. Don't ever let that happen, man. Because you know, we about in the same boat. Yeah. You know, so with that being said, go ahead.
Because that's why when you just said that, I remember this week, I think I've been watching online with Mexican OT. He went to like some kind of podcast and they asked him a simple question that was like, why do you feel like it's cool for you to say the N-word? And then he was like, because I grew up around homies and that's what we do. So what do you think about stuff like that?
That's not a good enough excuse. Yeah. To me, I would say, I like OT. He a cool dude. You cool, bro.
Yeah.
But I look at it from two ways. Now culturally in music, let's start with music.
Okay.
You're a Mexican rapper. Our biggest Mexican Latin rappers would be Pitbull, Baby Bash, Burner, somebody like that. They never use that word in the music. They don't need to.
Exactly.
They're the biggest rhymers in the world, the biggest musicians in the world. Now, I can understand when people say, oh, but we're from Texas, we're different. Bro, that means nothing on a worldwide scale.
Yeah.
When it comes to people in France, people in Paris, people all over, they don't care about what you and your partners talk about in Texas, bro.
Okay.
So if you're trying to be a bigger artist musically, you have to cater and know that certain people not trying to hear that shit.
Yeah.
So you can't just go around throwing words because you think, oh yeah, this is how me and my partners get down.
Yeah.
Like, nah, bro, certain cities and towns, they're not rocking with that shit because culturally,
Come on.
they done been through some shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
So in my music, I never said it. Not one time. Now, if I'm talking to you, it might slip out in conversation or something, but I try not to.
Yeah.
Because I understand where I grew up, but I know everywhere it don't fly.
Yeah.
So not one time in any of my music are you gonna hear me ever say that word.
I didn't. That's why.
But I understand that people think, oh, Texas is different, but that don't make it right.
Yeah.
It's about learning and knowing history. Because I think a lot of times, to your point, it's more so where you grew up and who you grew up around. And I'm gonna tell you something that we make a mistake at as Black people. Sometimes we feel like we would give somebody the pass to say it. You know, white dude grew up around. Oh man, he want us. He cool. Yeah, but he can't say that. You know, oh brother. You know, and so historically, when you know the history of that word and why it was used and what it meant coming from the mouths and the minds of somebody
and
else,
even now,
you got to
somebody
factor that
say,
in.
But even for now, for somebody to say, oh well, they don't mean it in that fact. Okay, cool, my G. It's cool. Okay, when y'all get back on the tour bus, if that's y'all, just use it all you want. But when you get on that beat and you represent Mexican people and you have other people listening, I know Mexican people that don't like that fucking word.
Yeah.
I know Black folks that don't like that fucking word. So if I know that they don't like it, let me step back. If I'm a person that don't care about consequence, say that shit all you want. But if I care about consequences, don't say that shit.
And it has sensitivity. It care about other people's sensitivity.
That's what I mean. Like,
you don't know the history. You don't know the damage that word might have done to somebody else. So it would be like if your woman was telling you how something you might say to her makes her feel, and you take it like, oh baby, ain't nobody, I'm just playing. You taking that too serious. You don't know her history of her daddy might have beat her and said that every time he beat her. So these are the things that we got to look at when we just frivolously think that it's only a word, even when we take it as, like they say, a term of endearment.
But even so, people that are probably saying, oh, it's just a word, they got to be under 30.
Yeah.
Under 25. You still stay at home. You ain't never went through nothing. You never been nowhere. And you don't got you got nothing going on to where it's even going to hurt you to say the word.
Yeah.
Person like Mexican OT got everything going for him, could be one of the biggest artists in the world. There's no point to use a word that could put you in a corner to where it's going to make fans not like you, knowing that not everybody appreciates that word.
No question about it.
So for you, just being an artist, you shouldn't say it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in a person, you know. And I've had different conversations.
I'll take that back. Exactly what you said. Yeah. Musically and culturally, you shouldn't say it.
Right. Yeah. I was like I said, I was talking to Smackwater last night, and he was giving his view. He was basically saying that as Black people, we got bigger fish to fry than worried about that. And yeah, we do have bigger fish to fry than that. So I agreed with him on that. But on a big scale, there's more components to it than just that. It's
I wouldn't even say y'all letting shit slide. It's just at some point you can't let certain things that used to mean something not mean nothing.
Yeah, it's a lot of bloodshed under that word for us.
You
know lot of bloodshed, a lot of horrible things happen to us behind that word. So, and it's very detailed because people will go into the African versions of it, niggas and all. Well, and we've had those but that stuff ain't relevant to what comes out of the heart of somebody who mean it in a malicious way.
But just for him being a Mexican artist or any Mexican artist, like, you don't need to say that word because, first of all, like I said, it's going to put you in a corner. Not everybody agrees with it. And if we really look at our history of who the biggest Latin artists are, they don't
use it.
But the reason they don't use it is because they know better. Yeah. It don't fly everywhere. Yeah. And if we really just gonna be just on the artist side, name a brand of clothing or Reeboks or Nikes that's gonna look at this artist and be like, you know what? We like what you saying. Yeah. Put that in a song on this Nike song, on this commercial.
Nike trying to steal to everybody.
Bro, they're gonna tell you, even if you try to put that into any branding song, if you can't put it into a brand song, being Mexican, don't use it.
And
it's gonna hurt you.
And again, I bring it to us too because we got to stop saying that. You know, and I know it's a lot of black people. We love it. We gonna hug on and hold on to it, but we got to let it go as well. As far as even for a term of endearment, we have to let it go. You know, that's just.
And I know a lot of younger folks probably like, you know, gonna tell them, hey, you're younger, tell me how to talk.
No doubt.
Look, if you want to be with your partners and that's how y'all talk and how y'all get down, cool, do your thing. All I'm saying is if you're gonna go out here and try to be a big artist in the world, understand that it don't fly with everybody.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to get some big money, some big sponsors and big checks, keep it out of your lingo because it's not cool with everybody.
And another thing too, you know, every race of people has terms and words that are offensive to that race of people.
All the time.
So if other people was to project and put out words that may be offensive to white culture, Latin culture, Asian culture. Now you see, okay, now I feel it. You know what I'm saying? And some people might say, well, I don't care, say what you want, but more people than not would have a problem with that.
No,
so that's why I said you got to always focus in on the history of a thing, not where you caught it at.
Yeah.
Because the history of that word as it was directed towards us, it don't come from a good
For sure. That's what I'm saying. Musically, it ain't gonna happen because culturally it's not accepted, bro.
Yeah.
So just leave it out of the shit.
Hey man, okay, Keystone, hit him. Let's get some knowledge in.
Hey man,
on the close out, man. Come on, Keystone.
No, trust me, dog. I feel the same way. Hey,
absolutely, man.
But look, I got love for OT. Hey, I rock with you, bro. You know,
and how old is OT?
Probably in his 20s.
Yeah, so you know, he's young, and that I know for a fact, without even knowing the man, there's a lot of history that he doesn't know, and now he's learning because I did see where he issued out an apology for. See, he's learning because if somebody don't get to you, I just did a video on my channel tonight about media training. You know, whether it be formal or informal, you gonna get trained formally, or you gonna say something crazy that's gonna informally train you to know how to talk next go around.
I also want to say that for OT, I know probably like this is going to be a rough week for him, you know what I'm saying, of all this going on. But a lot of the people that he may feel he probably lost their respect, he don't need to feel that it's gone forever.
Yeah.
Respect is earned. You can always earn somebody respect back, depending on where you take it from today.
Absolutely.
So if you learn from your mistakes and be like, you know what, I own up to that I fucked up, then from what you do here on out is going to help be the man that you are tomorrow, bro.
The public is more forgiving than we give them credit for a lot of the time. So you have don't.
Even your homeboys though, even the people that surround you that might have lost your respect. There's always a way to gain their respect back, and who you are as a person shows through that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So don't think it's the end of the world. It's probably a rough weekend for you. But bro,
take it as a learning.
That's all you can do.
Experience, and like I say, don't double down on ignorance, which a lot of people do. You know, we just got through talking about Trump a minute ago. But don't never double down. Just learn, because I may not know why this offended you, but I should always be willing to learn and understand.
Yeah, for sure.
There's no question about it. Well, man, that's what it is, man. We're going to get our brother out of here. We thank you so much for the knowledge and the game and the history, brother. And like I say, you're welcome to come back anytime. The one and only Mr. G.T. Garza, man. You got any social you want to give?
Yeah, it's GT Garza on Instagram. That's ITZ GT Garza. You can hit me up on YouTube, youtube.com/LaMachina.tv. Hit us up on the website for some merch, LaMachinaENT.com. And we just chilling, man. We got a couple shows coming out, a couple listening parties and stuff. I'm gonna send you flyers.
Yeah,
so we just chilling, man.
Be there, man. You know, I'm gonna be in there just in the cut, man. No question about it. Well, all right, man, it's your big brother, K. Reno.
And it's your boy, Keystone.
It's the Underground Dialogue Podcast, man, and we are
absent stitch.
Already, man.
It's your big brother, K. Reno. Look, man, the Underground Dialogue website is back in function. We back in motion, man. If y'all want Underground Dialogue Podcast merch, whatever you need, go to undergrounddialogue.com and check us out. And always make sure that every Wednesday night, y'all are checking out the Underground Dialogue Podcast right on YouTube, 9 p.m. Central Time. Yeah!
What's up, man? It's your big brother, K. Reno. And check this out, man. The Underground Dialogue Podcast is offering advertising opportunities, man. You can promote your business. You can promote your video, your song, whatever it is that you have, man. Reach out to us if you're interested in promoting on the Underground Dialogue Podcast. All you got to do is email us at undergrounddialoguepodcast@gmail.com. Get it. What up, man? It's your big brother, K. Reno. I'm proud to announce that I'm a new brand ambassador to this new brand of clothing and shoes called Volas. Y'all make sure that y'all support this. It's already available. Houston-based company, straight out the A. Look at the quality of the packaging itself. We ain't even got to the shoes yet, man. And this is just one pair of shoes, one design. They got all kinds of dope designs of shoes that you guys can choose from. Go to volas.biz and find your order, find what you want. Wide selection to choose from, male and female items, and I'm proud to be a part of it, man. Community workers, versatile products, Volas, manufactured in Italy. Look at the quality of this box, man. Y'all don't know what it is, man. Catch y'all later on.